crone, the fifth crone, except she wasn't. She couldn't be because she wasn't even Kate anymore. On all fours, wet rag clutched tight, I shuddered at the memory of the body that had pinned me to the filthy mattress in the filthier cell from which Lucan and I had rescued the earth crone. The fingers that had pried at the pendant clutched in my hand, the god I had seen behind the familiar brown eyes inhabiting the body of the woman to whom I had once entrusted my own family. Morok, god of darkness and deceit and lies, immortal enemy of humanity itself. The god I had been destined to stop, once and for all, as the fifth crone. Until, as Morok himself had said, I'd been too weak to claim the power that had been given to me. Too inept to, "Knock, knock," a woman's voice sang out as the back door banged open behind me. My head sagged between my shoulders. Not Jen, I thought. Not now. But I pushed aside the reaction, uncharitable in the extreme after all my old neighbor had done for me in the past few days, and sat back on my heels. Pasting on a smile, I grasped the edge of the counter above me, pulled myself upright, and turned to face my guest. Jeanne Archambault's gaze took in the puddle I hadn't quite conquered, then the water still trickling down the cupboard front. A tiny frown twitched between her eyebrows, and she regarded me with concern from behind her red-framed glasses. Determinedly, I broadened my smile and pointed at the casserole dish she held. "Is that for me?" Her lips pursed, and for a moment I didn't think I'd succeeded in heading off her questions. But then she nodded. "My chicken and broccoli one," she replied. "It should feed you for a few days, help you get back on your feet." She held the dish toward me, but I made no move to take it. I couldn't. As legendary as Jen's chicken and broccoli casserole, smothered in cheddar cheese, might be in the neighborhood, the very thought of it turned my stomach and made my shoulders curl in around the omnipresent ache in my heart. The last time I'd had the casserole, I'd shared it with my then-protector, Lucan, in the kitchen of my then-house, now a burned-out hulk sitting on the neglected lot next door to Edie's bungalow. Lucan had eaten most of it, picking out the broccoli bits, and I'd barely nibbled at my portion, too overwhelmed by the turn of events in my life, him, the house in the woods, a living gargoyle named Kevin, to even pretend I had an appetite. Much the way I felt now. Again. Still. Jeanne slipped her shoes off, leaving them by the back door, and crossed the kitchen to open the refrigerator where most of the baked spaghetti she'd brought me 2 days ago still sat. Her lips drew tighter. She closed the fridge and opened the freezer compartment above it. "It freezes well," was her only comment as she placed the chicken casserole inside and closed the door again. Then she turned to me, her gaze assessing me in her professional nursing way. "How are you feeling?" "I'm good," I said. One of her brows rose above her glasses frames. "Okay," I amended. "I'm okay." Which was actually pretty freaking stellar given the state she'd found me in on Edie's back porch. And not quite true, either, given the soul-deep exhaustion that had plagued me since my return. I was so tired. Tired of fighting for and against what I didn't even really understand. Tired of trying to understand. And bloody tired of, not to mention irritated with, the part of me that still wouldn't give up. Life at 60 wasn't supposed to be this complicated, damn it. Jeanne's eyes dropped to the cloth in my hand, and mine followed. I sighed. I'd clutched the thing so tightly that the water I'd mopped up was dripping into a whole new puddle. Awesome! My neighbor held out one hand, palm up, and pointed with the other at the table. Without argument, I handed over the cloth, limped to a chair, and eased myself into it. Limped and eased because